It was supposed to be just another glamorous night on late-night television. Jimmy Kimmel Live had teased a special episode featuring Hollywood's golden boy, Ryan Gosling, fresh off his latest blockbuster success. Fans had been lining up since morning, hoping to catch a glimpse of the actor's signature charm, suave demeanor, and maybe a light-hearted joke about his role. The atmosphere backstage, however, told a different story. Sources whispered that tension had been brewing all week between Gosling's team and the show's producers over creative direction. The sticking point: Kimmel reportedly wanted to poke fun at certain controversial behind-the-scenes rumors surrounding Gosling's recent movie set, rumors the actor had been working hard to keep out of the spotlight. As the live taping began, everything appeared normal. Kimmel greeted Gosling with a warm smile, the audience cheered wildly, and Gosling sat down in his tailored navy blue suit. But behind his practiced smile, something was clearly simmering. Kimmel started with his usual friendly banter. "Ryan, you've had a pretty busy year. A blockbuster hit, multiple award nominations, and I hear a few, interesting, incidents on set. Care to share with the class?" Gosling chuckled politely. "Well, you know how it is on a film set. Long days, coffee shortages, and a lot of improvising. Nothing out of the ordinary." But Kimmel wasn't ready to drop it. He leaned in, grinning. "Oh, come on. I'm talking about that little incident with your co-star, and the rumor that you walked off the set for a whole day. What was that about?" The crowd laughed, sensing playful teasing, but Gosling's eyes narrowed slightly. "Jimmy," he replied, his tone just a shade colder, "some things are exaggerated for the tabloids. Not everything you read is the truth." Kimmel smirked and pulled out a prop, an enlarged fake magazine cover with a bold headline, "Ryan Gosling Meltdown on Set." The audience erupted in laughter, but Gosling's smile disappeared. "That's not funny," Gosling said flatly. The mood in the studio shifted. Viewers at home might not have caught it right away, but those in the audience later said you could feel the temperature drop. Kimmel tried to brush it off. "Hey, it's all in good fun. We're just having a laugh here." But Gosling leaned forward, locking eyes with Kimmel. "Fun is one thing, Jimmy. Publicly ridiculing someone over unverified garbage is another." The band tried to play a light musical cue, but Kimmel, perhaps sensing a ratings gold moment, kept pushing. "So, you're saying none of it happened?" "Because I've got a source." Gosling interrupted, sharper now. "Your source wasn't there." "I was. And I don't appreciate being cornered like this on live TV." The audience gave a nervous chuckle, unsure if this was scripted or real. Kimmel tried to regain control. "Hey, don't get too serious on me, Ryan. This is late-night TV, not a courtroom." And that's when Gosling's demeanor changed entirely. He sat back, exhaled, and said, "Then maybe you should start acting like a host and not a tabloid reporter." The studio gasped. Kimmel's eyes widened, not used to guests openly challenging him. He muttered, "Wow, okay," and signaled for a commercial break. But before the cameras cut away, a hot mic picked up Gosling muttering something under his breath. It wasn't entirely clear, but it sounded like, "This is ridiculous. I'm done." When they returned from the break, Gosling was gone. His chair sat empty, Kimmel was visibly flustered, and the audience was buzzing with confusion. Kimmel awkwardly explained, "We had a little disagreement backstage. Ryan had to leave early. That happens sometimes." But as everyone would soon learn, what happened backstage after that cut was anything but ordinary. The moment the commercial break hit, Gosling stood up, unhooked his microphone, and handed it to a stagehand without a word. Kimmel followed him toward the backstage hallway, still trying to lighten the mood. "Ryan, hey, come on. You know how this works. We tease, the crowd laughs, everybody goes home happy." Gosling stopped in his tracks. "That's not teasing, Jimmy. That's setting me up. You knew I wouldn't talk about those rumors, and you ambushed me anyway." The tension between them was palpable. Crew members stood frozen, unsure whether to intervene or disappear. One witness later told a tabloid, "I've never seen Ryan Gosling that angry." His voice was low, but every word was sharp enough to cut glass. Kimmel tried again. "Listen, I've been doing this for years. People know it's just comedy." "Comedy?" Gosling shot back. "Comedy is about timing and wit. What you did was try to humiliate me on my own press run. That's not comedy. That's cheap." By this point, the show's producer had joined them, whispering urgently to Kimmel about cutting to the next guest. But Kimmel, perhaps stung by the public challenge to his authority, kept pushing. You think you're the only star who's had a joke thrown at them? Everyone takes it in stride. You could have just laughed. Gosling's voice rose for the first time. No, Jimmy. I don't just laugh when someone tries to drag my name through the mud for ratings. Security was now hovering, unsure whether Gosling might storm back on stage or leave through the side exit. The producer stepped in, trying to calm things down, but Gosling shook his head. I'm not staying here to be the punchline for a segment you cooked up without telling me. And with that, Gosling walked out the backstage door into the cool night air, leaving Kimmel standing there with his jaw tight. The aftermath. Within minutes, whispers had reached the audience that Gosling wasn't coming back. Phones lit up across the studio as audience members texted and posted about the walk-off they had just witnessed. By the time the episode aired, social media had already exploded. Hashtags like #GoslingWalksOff and #KimmelClash were trending. Some fans sided with Gosling, calling Kimmel's questions unprofessional and borderline malicious. Others argued that Gosling was being too sensitive and should have rolled with the joke. Clips of the tense exchange racked up millions of views overnight. TikTok was flooded with slowed-down replays of Gosling's cold glare, set to dramatic music. Memes popped up, one showing Gosling photoshopped as a cowboy walking into the sunset, captioned, "When you've had enough late-night nonsense." The next day, Gosling's publicist released a short statement. Greater than, Ryan Gosling will always engage in good-natured interviews, but last night's segment crossed a line. He will not be returning to Jimmy Kimmel Live in the foreseeable future. Kimmel addressed it on his show the following night. He tried to laugh it off, saying, "Apparently Ryan didn't like my jokes, guess I'll have to send him flowers. Or maybe a lifetime supply of decaf." But his delivery lacked the usual sparkle, and many viewers noticed. Entertainment insiders speculated about whether the rift could hurt future collaborations. One producer anonymously told Variety, "Ryan is one of the most respected actors in the business. If he feels a host isn't respectful, word spreads fast." Fallout and reflection. In the weeks that followed, the confrontation became a pop culture flashpoint. Talk shows debated whether late-night hosts sometimes go too far. Gosling's fan base doubled down in support, praising him for standing up for himself in an industry where stars are often expected to smile through discomfort. Meanwhile, gossip outlets couldn't resist fanning the flames, digging into past moments when Kimmel had crossed lines with other guests. Old clips resurfaced, awkward interviews, jokes that didn't land, and a few guests who visibly bristled under his humor. For Gosling, the walk-off didn't seem to harm his career. If anything, it boosted his image as a man unwilling to be pushed around. His next public appearance, a red carpet premiere, was met with loud cheers and fans shouting, "We're with you, Ryan." As for Kimmel, he seemed to tread more carefully in the following weeks. The playful jabs remained, but the sharper, more personal digs were noticeably absent. Whether that was due to the backlash or just a natural cooling-off period, no one could say for sure. One thing, however, was certain. The night Ryan Gosling walked off Jimmy Kimmel Live had secured its place in Hollywood's Hall of Infamous TV Moments, a reminder that even the smoothest stars have their breaking point, and that in the world of live television, anything can happen.